All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. How we doing out there? Let me know if you can hear me. And happy Wednesday. A little FOMC action today. Sweet. Thank you, thank you. There is the bell. We got I don't really know what there is to do at the moment, but so I plan on giving away some accounts. Um, but we've got a really weird discrepancy again here between the NASDAQ and the Dow. So NASDAQ basically unchanged here, but the Dow down 452 points here. And I don't quite know what to think or do with that information just yet. So I kind of want to let that prove itself a little bit more here. The Russell getting a little bit of a green bar there initially here. I think one of the craziest things I saw last night, and I dropped it in the free chat, was the move in Apple overnight compared to what the NASDAQ was doing. Like the overnight session for NASDAQ was absolutely crazy. We were having some wild swings. And today it makes sense that we'll probably have some even more wild swings. But my plan here is I'm going to see what we can do if we get down into 706s. We kind of front ran this 34.75 level for S&Ps in the overnight session, so see if we can get down and trade that. But my plan is to kind of dip out around 11 or so, 11:30, and if we get something, we get something. If not, it is what it is. And then look to come back for FOMC and kind of see what that looks like. I don't know that I'll necessarily do anything, but I might end up going ahead and streaming that and just see what's moving and shaking from there. We did get this full port some evals. Yeah, I might, honestly. I got a couple of the 10-4 accounts I can give away as well. Because Russell got a nice little pop there initially. The full port sauce is in there. Gold tried to get a little push over 4100s last night on the new contract and got smacked a little bit here. NASDAQ just got a little pop there, put in essentially new highs on the day. No feet pictures. Wowzers. NASDAQ with a nice little move there. And Tesla going, trying to go a little lower here. Like I said, there's not really much to do at the moment. Excuse me. Dow maybe going to try and push a little lower here still. Dow making new lows there while NASDAQ is trying to push towards highs. S&Ps are sitting right here on opening print. My charts are so slow. Opening print there, 5650s. Meanwhile, NASDAQ just made that high there. Getting a little bit of pullback there. Dow putting in a bit of a bottoming tail here. Dow could potentially be a little long. Let's see if that wants to rally back some of it. No, it does. If it wasn't FOMC, I mean we're getting under opening print now here for NASDAQ. Essentially right at it. I'm still waiting on this NASDAQ chart to change. There we go. 905s. Part of me thinks S&Ps might try and hold a little bit. My charts are so slow though at the moment. I don't know if it's just me or if it's anybody else. It's either that or we're getting just a ton of volume coming in here. Southern internet. I got a gig. Some things do move just a little slower down here though. Yeah, I see GC. The Dow wants to try higher here still. S&Ps are rallying back to opening print. Wow, we just traded opening print and then rejected like immediately 4 or 5 points. It's kind of wild. What is this? Yeah. I've been sneezing like it's pollen season lately. Like the last like 3-4 days. What's up, Derivator? I think market's going to try and push a little bit here. S&P's, Dow. I'm not entirely sure about NASDAQ there. I just don't really know that it's worth. The stop on this S&Ps would be like 8 points. I don't really know that that's worth it. And we haven't traded down into like those 706s or 3475s or anything like that for S&Ps. Just watching this price though, it looks like it wants to try and make a bit of a push here. NASDAQ trying to push back up towards the open there. Traded 907s. Meanwhile, Russell Dow now coming back lower here. Nice. You got a scalp under 706s? We didn't drop that far, right? Like 50, 60 points last night? We trade down to what, 650s? Yeah. Oh, nice. This is Chop City in here at the moment. NASDAQ can't really decide what it wants to do with opening print here. The Dow is like maybe trying to hold it though. That's the part that I'm like, eh. It's the weakest market on the board on the like for the day, but it's technically trying to hold this open a little bit. I don't know if it matters necessarily, but let's see if we can't push up there to 914s. I guess we could try a short off 914s. The idea being that we don't go through like 938s. That's not bad. 25, 30 points worth of risk maybe, depending on if it how far it pushes through initially. And look to see if we can't take that down for 200 points to go get those 706s here. We just traded 913s. I'm trading it now. Or we push through it. One of the two. What is that? 948s. This thing is moving. Like legit moving. Let's see if we can just chill for a second and then retest 915s. It's the right idea. I just don't love the size of the stop. It probably works though. That 2-minute chart is like a pretty crazy looking bar. Lower this bar down here. That's a 72-point range bar out of the NASDAQ there on a 2-minute chart. Again, probably the right idea. Plunge it into the depths of 706s here at this point. That's really what we're waiting for, right? Is like we got to get something moving in that direction to really do anything with it. Same thing is happening in the as it did last night though. Is Apple's just getting absolutely rocket ship to the moon while NASDAQ is getting plunged to the depths here. It's kind of wild, honestly. This is just crazy price action. NASDAQ, the only market to make new lows there. That prior low was like 36s. I'm watching this on a 987 tick chart, and it is kind of crazy to see this movement. Meanwhile, Apple just doing its thing there. We just pushed to a new low there. 816s, yeah, 816.75s. So new lows there now, 816s. Still no new lows for S&Ps. New lows for the Dow. Like I said, I think we might get this push down here into 706s. What we do from there, I have absolutely no idea, but we keep fighting this. Like the rally back is pretty impressive out of this thing every time. We're moving 30, 40 points at a clip here. Even on like a 987 tick chart, it's a 37.5 point bar. It's kind of crazy. S&P's low here is 44 quarters. Looks like we just took that out now. Making this push lower. Drop it on down to 706s here. See what we can do with it. Anybody take that short off the opening print 914s? It did push a little further up to like 948s than I expected it to, but it's technically working. A 35 point stop just making its way on down. I figured Joe caught it. It's a crazy push right there. S&P is getting close to 34.75s. You said new high divergence. There is technically a divergence up there, yeah. NASDAQ did get one. You took the retest of opening print? Yeah. I don't blame you. 706 is going to come in. That'll be a nice 200 point ripper off the start of the day for you. Yeah, it's a pretty large 5-minute bar. 128 points now. I know I should have grabbed some new evals this morning. I didn't do it. That's pretty freaking close there for NASDAQ. That's that little 735 area, that little pre-market pivot. The freedom of trading live accounts without consistency. Yeah, honestly, so that's why I like the flex accounts and like the 10-4 origin accounts is like, again, I mean, if you're trading a 50K account, getting 5 days of $150, if you're trading it like normal and that's your risk, like if that becomes your R value, right, you got to lose like freaking 15, 20 trades in a row to blow the account. But then you're essentially not restricted in the sense that like you can't make more than like 20% or whatever. You just have a number that realistically doesn't matter in the sense of like $150. It's like, yeah, okay, that's 1R, right? But yeah, I mean the consistency rules on certain accounts I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, yeah, why why do I have a 15% consistency? Like, I get it. I understand like the rationale behind it from a firm standpoint, but Snorphalophagus. Thanks for the sub. Welcome to the channel. NASDAQ gonna go grab this 706s here. 780 quarters was that high there, and there it is. Drop there this morning. There's a nice 200-point move right there in the NASDAQ, 915 area for the short entry. Stops would have been kind of up over 950s there. But ends up working out nicely. No, 7420 is still coming up here. The bull in me wants to buy this 706s, but like I can't do that. Like I'm not doing that. But I'm like, if S&Ps was a little bit closer to 7420s, it might make sense. And if Dow wasn't like so weak, then yeah. She kicked me to the curb. Excuse me. This would be like 250 points here almost. It's a pretty decent move. Yeah, good work, dude. Realistically, if you catch a nice little lick this morning, I would leave it alone, call it a day, skedaddle on up out of here. Like there's nothing else on that. That bull in me does like that 706 potentially holding though. You caught that on live account of 5 new evals. Nice. The short, you caught it. I like it. The problem with like, yeah, no. I don't know. The problem with where we're at the moment is like we probably could rally that 200 points back and go back to opening print on the day. It's just like it's like do we or do we not? Like I said, I think the problem here is if you have profits already booked, it's tough to want to risk that and give it back here, especially on FOMC day. The Dow being super weak here. I mean, it's down 650 points. Um, so yeah, if you caught the short, which was a pretty solid call out, I initially kind of thought that we wouldn't really trade much over like 938s there. We spiked for a quick second up there to 948s. So, I mean, again, if you're looking, I've been watching this morning just because of, I didn't know if it was technically on my end, my southern internet potentially here or something like that. What is this? Hold on. No. I didn't know what it was on my end or something or not. So I switched over to a 987 tick chart and I was just watching this on that. So if we turn the extended session off, this is the main thing which I was watching here. There you guys go. So you can see that. So opening print here, 914.50s. I was just kind of watching this other little high over here, 938.75s, kind of coming back down, seeing if we can get, and this was that divergence up there on the highs, 996s. So every now and then you can get a little bit more detail on this when you drop down into like a tick chart. So I was just kind of checking this to see like, hey, can we take out this little spike high here? Do we hold that? Can we retest opening print? And yeah, ends up working out nicely to the downside there, right into 706s now. And the question is like, can we do the same thing back to the upside now? And I think you probably could. We're just like 60 points late now in terms of an entry. You'd have had to wait for the 706s to obviously hold and start pushing back up through, which again would have been about a 35, 40 point stop, which makes sense given the movement that this thing's having. I don't want to put additional risk on and see it go sideways here, right? Like that was the piece in the free nightly video. Is like, let's see if we can come down here, trade this 706s. If we do hold it and we start to bounce, like we're probably going to be choppy inside of this, and it turns out that's looking like most likely what it's going to be here. S&Ps aren't bad trying to hold 34.75, but we never tested 74.20s. And you see how there's a little bit more detail inside that 987 than just this like 2-minute chart here. And again, part of it was just me trying to switch up the lag that I was seeing on the charts at the moment, see if that made a difference. Because I was watching the dome, and the dome was giving me one price, and the chart was lagging like 10, 20, 30 points at times. So meanwhile, this Apple just continues. It's crazy to see the Dow going lower, NASDAQ lower, and Apple's up, freaking 4 or 5 points, whatever it is. I guess Funded Next just upped their reward share to 95%. These props are starting to compete with each other in a big way. It's getting interesting. Here's NASDAQ just pushing back a casual 100 points now. If we go 200 points lower off open to 706s and 200 points back up, that's going to be kind of wild, honestly. I mean, at that point, we might as well just turn the computer off and walk away. Damn. Feels like 91 degrees outside. It's normally hot down here in the south, but like I feel like it's been exceptionally hot this year. I guess we're technically only supposed to hit a high of 93, but it'll probably feel like 103. We might see S&Ps come down, trade these 74.20s. NASDAQ recheck these 706.50s. If you wanted to try long. The Dow is still the one that I'm like, that probably shouldn't be down 735 points. Like, you look at the daily chart on the Dow, and it's like what is this? I really, really thought we'd see a cleaner, nicer breakout in there. And it's not looking like it at the moment. Gap up Monday, red bar. Gap up over the red bar yesterday, rally, and then gap under green bar today and just get absolutely smoked to the downside. It's like that's a Christmas tree looking chart over the last 3 days if I've ever seen one. And then today could like completely eradicate any and all hopes of either side being right with FOMC. Bro, did you guys see the moon the other night? It also should be tonight too. Not last night, but the night before, the moon was crazy looking. Here's that 706s printing. S&P's front ran there by a little bit. If you want longs, NASDAQ off 706s, that's probably it. I'm going to try it tiny. I'm going to try it tiny here off of 706s. Let's see if we can't get like 740s or so on a first little scalp exit. And then from there, we'll look to see if we can't run it up. Sweet. Got that fill. Stops down under those lows from just now, 27,700s. Should be a break-even trade essentially at this point. We're able to take a little scalp off on that first little push there, and now stops are down under those lows. So if we can get this thing to move, then that'd be nice. Trading pre-FOMC. Yeah, I'm just doing a little. I mean, I'm not going to do anything else after this, but I'm giving it one shot here. We'll see if it wants to hold. It is not holding. That bar just immediately was like, nope. No, thank you. I'm out. All right. I managed to make $2. Sweet. That looked really good too. That bar initially got that push. 747s. We were pretty good on our exit for 740s there. Again, this is why I'm not super interested in the long idea, but like I have to take that because it's a 20-point risk for 200 points worth of target. Like, this is ugly though. Yeah, I've got 27,106s below. I don't necessarily know if we get there, but 27,106s. I mean, all that goes out the window later once FOMC comes into play, essentially, in terms of trend. We could completely reverse this trend in the 0.2 seconds, basically. I made like half a cup of coffee there. Honestly, I mean, I'm kind of surprised at the continued weakness here. I guess I shouldn't be as much with the Dow doing what it's doing, but let's do a giveaway here. By the way, if you guys have not checked out 10for.com and the new prop firm, there is a link. That Streamlabs link is automated on Apex, but you can get Apex accounts too. I think they brought the legacy back for a little bit as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do we'll do a 25K origin account to start, and then we'll do a 50K origin account. So I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat there. So exclamation raffle in the chat for a 25K origin account. I do know, I think they have 10for, I think, has a new platform coming out here soon, an announcement for that coming relatively soon. And their copy trader is currently, they're trying to build in-house. So you have to trade each account independent at the moment is the only thing. Like if I have a, excuse me, bless me, I'm talking about pros and cons for it. That would be essentially the only con, I think, is that the copy trader currently is being worked on. So I don't think you can link them through Replicanto. Let me see. I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can. So they have a CQG as the data. It looks like you can connect CQG to Ninja and then open Ninja connections, log in, and then use Replicanto. So possibly, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, he's involved with it over there. It's a couple of guys from Jake's Discord that started it. Shine bright like gold. But yeah, at the moment, that would be the only thing I could say is technically a con, but like at the same time, like it does have a little bit more risk than the other accounts at the moment. So do you really need to link and copy a bunch of accounts together? If you're already trading, if you're already looking at trading view charts, then I think it's a win-win, right? Because you don't really change anything. You just add a little dome right next to your chart on the existing browser and you're in. Yeah, they've been working on it for a while. I just really want these. I was excited. I feel like I'm like let down on these single stock futures too, because this shit has not worked. I was like, which I kind of I had a feeling that, and I said that like volume was going to be the biggest thing. As long as we can get volume for them, then we'll be good to go. And like at the moment, that is the biggest piece. Like if we're looking at this, it's like Apple's traded 71 contracts so far today. So like ticker /SAAPL is going to be Apple's. You just put an S in front of whatever the ticker name is. It's done 71 contracts this morning. So it's like what are we gonna do with this? Like, if we wanted to buy it right now, the spreads aren't terrible, but they're not great either. They're like 40 cents. They spread to like 60 cents. So like even with low volume, the spreads are fairly decent on it. 342.91s by 343.30s right now. It's like 40 couple cents here, which isn't the end of the world, but current spread on Apple is like a fraction of a penny. So that makes a difference. I don't know. I just think we need to get some more volume flowing into those in order to make it worthwhile, unfortunately. And like everything else is done like 2 contracts, 10 contracts, 6 contracts. The next runner up is NVIDIA with 21 contracts. So it's like, I don't know. They gotta do some work on it yet. Exclamation a raffle in the chat though. You got 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go. 25K Origin account, and then I'll follow it up and I'll give away a 50K Origin account as well. What are the chances that Shadow wins back-to-back days 25K Origin accounts? We're trying to get back up over those 706s. S&P is back in a 74.20. One minute 54 seconds here. This market is getting absolutely clobbered. I'm glad I got out of the way of that long idea. About 100 points lower. We're actually about to crack yesterday's lows here, 603s, I think, right? 603.50s. We might take that out. 603.50s. Market getting absolutely smoked here. I would say this would be, if you were short from 915s up here, opening print area, I would say this would be tough to continue to hold a short, just because we got a 100-point rally off like 706s. Like, it'd be tough to hold through that. 601.75 just traded there. So we cracked yesterday's lows now. But yeah, this is some aggressive selling pressure here overall in the markets. Intoxicated. Exclamation raffle in the chat. You got 13 seconds to go. If you ain't in it, you ain't in it. Wow. Wow. Nasdaq is just getting smoked. There's nothing we can do with this at the moment. Yeah, we checked 74.20 50s. Kind of crazy. Yeah, S&P's a little cleaner. We never got the recheck of 706s there, unfortunately. Man. I don't know, a little bit of volatility, it's not necessarily a bad thing. VIX is 20. Like, and we're still, this is the craziest thing to me, and I talked about it earlier in the week too, is like, we're at minus 360s on a tick reading. Our lowest tick of the day is minus 825. Like, we're getting absolutely smoked, but like, it's not aggressive selling yet. Like, that's the part that's maybe a little bit worrisome, is like, we've got a 457-point range day on the NASDAQ. Like, we could see like a 1,500-point range day in the NASDAQ at some point in the very near future. And like, that would then be like, okay, maybe even 2,000 realistically. That would then be like, okay, now we're actually doing something. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm about to do the same, honestly. We do these couple giveaways, and I'm going to call it a day. I really don't feel like going to the gym because I didn't do legs yesterday. I did back and biceps, and I really wasn't feeling that either. But I don't want to be here. Yeah, that's my plan. I'd like to come back and try and hop on for it. All right, drum roll, please. Let's pick a winner. ADETAYOODUOWOLE. I don't know what that means. Let me know if you're in the chat. Congrats. Let me set a timer. Hey Siri. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Joe wants one of those 50Ks. Your first time ever. Congrats, dude. Congrats. You in the Discord? If so, hit me up. Slide in those DMs. If you are currently not in the Discord, then I will drop a link. You guys can join the Discord for free there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and set up a giveaway in the Discord too while we're here. Just because I can. Oh, I took the mentorship 3 years ago? Oh, sweet. My guy. Shoot me a DM. Free 50K origin account at 10-4. Land on your lips, get drunk on your kiss. Got your hands up, rocking in my truck. Every sunset, cruise control. I got like a soul down. What's today? 29th? 29th, apply. Night to end. Oh, sweet. All right, sweet. Doing a 50K Origin account giveaway over on a Discord there as well. And let me get you set up real quick on yours, and then I'll get you this code real quick, and then we'll do a sorry, let me do this, and then we'll launch a 50K on YouTube here. All right, sweet. I sent that over to you there. Congrats again, my guy. Y'all make sure you get entered for the giveaway over on Discord as well. All right, let's do another one here on YouTube. Bada boom, bada bing. There you go. 50K eval coming at you from 10-4.com. The 50K origin eval exclamation raffle in the chat. And we'll let that one run through, see what happens. Dow's still making new lows here, currently down 843 points on the day. That is no bueno. more precious than gold. Can't be bought, and it can't be sold. I got love. Y'all didn't know it came with a free concert today, did you? I love Chris Stapleton. That dude has a ridiculous voice. I gotta smoke about 18 packs a day for the next 2 years to get a little rasp going like that, probably. Millionaire. All right, exclamation raffle in the chat for you guys. Eight minutes to go. There's 24 of y'all watching, only 9 entered so far. So I don't know what you're doing if you ain't entered. If you watching and ain't entered, then I don't know what to do about that. I don't think there's anything we can do with this market here either. We're past the 1030 number here. Dow's still making new lows. This AMD is getting absolutely smoked as well. Down 20 couple points here today. I did a little like kind of larger picture analysis stuff yesterday on some of these names and just like where I would be interested in, you know, potentially accumulating additional long-term positions. Because like if we look at the Qs and like we pull up a daily chart, for example, you know, that high up there is 748.65. You know, that's like all-time highs. So if you look at that and you kind of draw that down to current prices, like if you just use a trend line tool, it'll kind of give you like what we're looking at so far. And we're down right at about 10%, a little over maybe from off the highs so far for NASDAQ, which is typically around the area where it's like, okay, market's had a 10% pullback, like now it's time we can start, you know, potentially looking to do something with that. I think there's still a little bit more potentially to go here yet, but some of these names, like AMD, for example, I think have a lot more room left to the downside. Like AMD is one, MU is another one. They're all kind of in that same sector. They just potentially could get really ugly really fast to the downside. And you could argue that they kind of already have to some degree. I mean, MU's 400 points off high so far. 1,250 up there. It's currently 790s. So just a little word of caution that it could get uglier before it potentially gets quote unquote better here from a market perspective like that. And I got a theory too on all the data centers. I don't know that this will necessarily be the case, but and I don't know if anybody's like really followed that stuff lately. But my theory is that so like we have the idea that maybe we send them to space, right? Because space is supposed to be cold, and we wouldn't have to deal with the water issues and trying to cool the equipment and all that. And like that's what I did in as an electrician. One of the jobs in which I worked on was essentially like a large server room for the government, and we used a bunch of crack units, raised floor, ground grid systems, all the skiffs, everything like that, and that was the cooling, right? Was essentially those large crack units, and we could get the room to like 55 degrees even with everything running, and not. It's the government. They obviously over-engineered it, right? So there's an error if machines go down that the room doesn't turn into 120 degrees. But like, my theory is that we have the idea that they go to space. We have the idea that maybe we put them in like shipping containers and we put them in the ocean. But so like Next Era just bought Dominion, which runs like the dam that's here at the lake where we live at. My theory is we start building more hydroelectric dams, because that one will supply the power for the data centers, and then two, it'll also give us a deep enough body of water that we don't have to fight the salt water from the ocean, which is an added component for obviously anything you put in the ocean. We would have clean fresh water to battle with as opposed to salt water, and that in return would give us, one, the electric, and two, the cooling needed for these data centers. So I don't know if that comes to fruition or not, but that's kind of my thinking on it at the moment. It seems like it would solve a lot of the, I shouldn't say a lot of, it would solve some of the current issues I keep seeing with them. But at the same time, like that's also, it's really costly. Like to build a dam and what, just just the land alone. So I don't know, we'll see, but I think that would be kind of a cool project. Not that anybody asked about my theory on that, but it sounded smart, so I wanted to share it. And I need to distract myself from this NASDAQ dropping 400 points. Y'all got a minute and 32 seconds, by the way. Oh, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. So the last major federal hydroelectric dam was completed in the mid-70s. But yeah, we peaked in like the 60s, just shortly after World War II. A lot of them were done in like the 20s and 30s. Amazon data centers buying land around me. Yeah, no, I mean, my buddy's got 16 acres up in Nokesville, which is just outside, like just outside of like Manassas, Gainesville, Haymarket area up there in Northern Virginia. And that's the idea eventually, is that he gets bought out by someone for a data center. That's what he's waiting for. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the issue too, right? Is like we're using this water. Unfortunately, if we can dam it and obviously keep it full, then we've accomplished both things without consuming the water. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a theory. It would take a lot of work, but I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of pushback on these data centers, which we already are. I think we're going to continue to see a pushback on them, though. Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. Hoover Dam is actually Hoover Dam is awesome, but so is the one at Lake Powell, which I think is technically bigger by like 16 feet or something. Is Lake Powell Dam bigger than Hoover Dam? Oh, it's longer. That's what it is. Glen Canyon Dam is the one at Lake Powell. It's 710 feet. Hoover Dam is 726 feet. I had the 16 feet right. Look at me. Just had it in the, in the wrong category. Yeah, the Glen Canyon Dam is longer, 1,560 feet. Hoover Dam is 1,244 feet. The Hoover Dam holds about 26.1 million acre feet. Lake Powell holds 25.16 million acre feet. That's crazy. It's crazy we were able to build those like when we built them. Like even the dam here. Let me actually just see. I'll announce this giveaway here in just a second, but I kind of want to see now where Lake Murray Dam versus Hoover Dam. Yeah, so the dam here is 7,800 feet long, but it's only 213 feet high compared to 1,244 feet long for Hoover Dam, but it's 726 feet tall. They were completed within 6 years of each other. That's crazy. All right, market's getting a little bit of a balance here. I wouldn't necessarily look to do anything with this, but we can go ahead and do our giveaway. Drum roll, please. Smoky Smoke, 1911. He says, you got knocked out. I ain't gonna tell nobody else. Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes. Smoky Smoke, you in the chat? You got yourself a 50K Origin account from 10for.com. Kind of curious to see what these QQQ puts have done today. I'm kind of surprised that Joe didn't win himself a giveaway account either. Smoky Smoke, you got a minute and 28 seconds. He said, let's fucking go smoking now. Congrats, my dude. Congrats. Hit me up in Discord. Shoot me a DM. Again, if you're not currently in the Discord, then here's a link so you can jump in there to shoot me a DM. Yeah, Derivative hasn't won for a while either, actually. Congrats, my dude. I dropped that link in there for you. Just slide in the DMs and I'll get you taken care of. And don't forget, there is another giveaway going on currently in the Discord as well, in the giveaways channel. About 39 people participating in that one at the moment. So pretty decent odds overall everywhere today to get entered for a giveaway. That'll be 3 accounts today we give away. I'm getting a little motion. A little motion. This market is getting some motion too, though. So I'm looking at like the 670 puts here from today, just in Qs, just to see what it looks like. These contracts went from about $2.20 here to $6.50 just now on those lows. And then if we took it all the way to that bar, technically that would have been about $4.50. So not terrible. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in, my guy. All right. I think that's going to do it for me this morning. My goal is to run it until about 11 o'clock or so. Nice move overall here in the markets. This level's old in the Qs. I thought about that. That'd be just the ultimate kind of like F you to this whole move. It would be interesting for sure. Google really didn't get much of a move lower there. I'm still really watching this thing. I don't know what we do with it yet, but it might not have to be till tomorrow. I don't see any message requests yet from Smokey. Oh wait, he might have just joined the server there. All right, sweet. Well, I'm gonna get ready to roll. Anybody have any questions? What I want, what I want, what I want. You're hitting legs today? I might have to do it. I don't want to, but I might have to. I got you, Smokey. I got you. $50K origin. Let's see. There you go, my guy. Right? I've been talking about that all week. Like we're not getting crazy low ticks. Like the other on Monday, that whole move, the first like opening move that we dropped, whatever that was on Nasdaq, we had minus like 520s or something was the low for like the first hour and 40 minutes of the day or whatever it was. It was really really low. It's been some of the weirder, like July has been some of the weirder trading that I think I've seen in quite a while. I don't fully know what to make of it, but we got a ton of earnings and stuff coming out. Obviously, today, tomorrow, FOMC, all that stuff too. So hopefully that can clear some things up. I can't attribute it to like summertime trading because it's just not. I don't think that's it. Yeah, I think so. That we gave that one out up there at 915s. I wouldn't personally have thought that we would drop 400 points. I expected 706s, but I didn't really think we'd go too much through that. I also didn't see the Russell or the S&Ps getting smoked like they did. That's a 60 plus point range in the S&Ps and 40 couple points, almost 50 points in the Russell there. The last few years have been crazy for sure. I mean, there's no denying that. There is no denying that one. But I don't know that we've seen this. Like, we've certainly seen crazy action, but we haven't seen like this type of action. It's hard to explain, but I know you know what I'm saying. It has just been different. Google's still looking good. All right, 11:01 here. I hate to jump off with 20 people on stream, unfortunately, but I don't know that there's going to be anything for me to do, honestly. Maybe we rally back a little bit here and settle around 27,700s for FOMC later. I do kind of want to see where is crude? Crude's actually getting a little movement here. I feel like Hassan might have mentioned this earlier. That's interesting. With first kind of real move we've seen out of crude this week, it has been going lower. Is this rollover? No. No, rollover was just 2 weeks ago. That's interesting. There's like a decoupling, I feel like, on a bunch of different things that normally should move together and just haven't, or move opposite and just haven't done so. Took one M and Q off 521s. A small chance that we rocket on FOMC. I mean, you might get those 706s here pretty soon. That'd be a decent little push. Yeah, Liberty's definitely an OG. Haven't seen him for a minute. Garmin. Let's take a look. Hold on, can we speak on something else for a quick second? Also, by the way, Garmin, what the hell? Like, What? 15%? Wait, what is that? There's a legit entry in there too. That's crazy. I mean, outside of, I mean, I guess, do people still use like GPS? Their market has to be more of like the the Garmin watches and stuff now, as opposed to like GPS in people's cars. Like, there's no way people still buy those old Garmin GPS systems. There's like this weird age gap for like, I feel like if you were born in this like 5 year window, you got to see and be exposed to like a lot of things that were pre like tech, and like it was like the start of some tech, but like it wasn't quite good enough tech yet that you were like, like it's kind of cool, but like we had MapQuest and like you just printed it off and then you just went and you just, yeah, everybody had an atlas in the seat back pocket. And it was like, if you get lost, just, I mean, pull it out and see where you're at, try and figure it out, stop and ask for directions. And then you started getting little Garmin GPS systems you could plug into the cigarette outlet. And then from there, it just evolved into like having GPS on your phone, in the car, whatever. I don't know. There's that weird window. I would not have, if you told me like Garmin was the company that you should buy in 2020 after COVID hits, and it's going to go from $65 to $300 here. Well, first it went to 175, back to 80, but I don't know that I would have believed that. Like damn near 5x off the lows from COVID. No, they do make good smartwatches, but I mean, so does everybody else. I guess true. They do have both GPS systems. Yeah, I don't guess I fully know what their total market reach is in terms of products and things either, but it's still crazy to me. Because like when I think of Garmin, I picture the little analog display plug into your cigarette outlet GPS system from like 2002. Like that's the picture. That's the picture that's in my head. Let's see if there's a picture of it. This freaking thing. Yeah, like this is what you had. I dropped it in the Discord. Like that's what I picture. The original Pokemon Go. Pretty much. That's crazy. But on. Can we can we shift gears for a quick second? Um, can someone explain to me, and this one's been like on my mind, can someone explain to me why the mayor of New York put a property database with people's addresses and names and everything available? Like, what? Like, what are we doing here? We got the different criterias and different family homes and the values and whether they're like second homes and all the things. What is happening? I know that's a change. Like that's a hard change of gears from freaking 2002 Garmin GPS systems. I don't understand. Weird behavior. No, for sure. For sure. There's been a lot of interesting things lately. One of the like some of my favorite videos right now are like the flock cameras getting cut down by people. I'm like, what is happening? Eric 2026 for president. Yo, I actually might. What am I? I'm gonna be. Oh shit, I'm gonna be 35 this year. I think I'm eligible. Hold on, let me see. What are the requirements? I gotta be 35, right? To run for U.S. president. Yeah, natural born citizen, 35 years old, and been a resident for the last 14 years. Yeah. Once I raise or spend more than $5,000 for my campaign, I must register with the Federal Election Commission. I got to name a principal campaign committee, and I'm Gucci. That's it. That's all I got to do. It's in the Constitution, technically. No person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. Interesting. I mean, not to get political, but we need some younger people in office. Like, I mean, R.I.P. Lindsey Graham. I won't say anything bad about anybody that dies. Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, like the list goes on and on. Like the whole purpose of the Constitution and the way in which everything was established and set up was for those who best understand our national interest and who are best able to promote those interests and that have the future generation. Like, these people aren't going to be here in 20 years. Like, realistically, Nancy Pelosi probably not going to be here in 20 years. Her thought process, her thinking, totally different than someone that's 45 years old. 35 was actually kind of maybe considered old back in the day, which is interesting to think about. I don't know, maybe one day. I got Liberty's vote, that's all that matters. Free garments for everybody. That's my campaign promise. Day one. Oh no, for sure. For sure. A free garment. It's like the Obama phone. Oh man. All right, I think I'm gonna roll. There's a giveaway going on in the Discord, so make sure you guys are checking that out. Otherwise, my plan, I want to try and get a couple things done here so I can be back for FOMC at 2. So I got like a little under 3 hours. Which should be good. I might do some yoga today. Do a little stretching as opposed to hitting legs, because I'm really not wanting to hit legs for some reason this week. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in here. Code MLT, all your favorite prop firms, of course. MLT for president 2028. I will be eligible. I actually wouldn't be opposed to running for some type of local office. I talked about that before. It's just a ton of bullshit too at the same time. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. So yeah, I'm gonna roll. If you guys need me, obviously feel free to hit me up, shoot me a DM, whatever it might be. And yeah, I wouldn't do anything here. I mean, it's 11:18. I don't think there's anything worth the squeeze at the moment. There's a couple names I'm watching for after FOMC, Google being like the main one at the moment. And I kind of think the better trade might end up being Thursday/Friday. Excuse me, depending on how FOMC goes. Yo, let's go, dude. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Give the guy a quick shout out for his birthday. Are you 31 now? You just turned 31? 31. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Did you take a trade on your birthday? Also 31. Well, how much do you bench? My money's on Christian for that one. No trade. I think it's all right. Yeah. It was quick. It was quick up there in the NASDAQ. It was legit only one entry available there. All right, I'm gonna roll. I'll check back in later. Hopefully we can get a couple things knocked out and get a little FOMC action going there. Lucid's hitting me up with the new Lucid daily plan. I might not be opposed to that. I don't know. I need to look at it again. Yeah, I don't blame you there. Yeah, man, absolutely. I'll hit you up. All right, Derivator. Appreciate you guys as always. I'll check back in at a minimum later, but we might do a little FOMC stream here later on. So, as always, appreciate you guys. You need me, reach out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And if not, we'll be back later. Don't do anything dumb. Peace.